What's going on, guys? Enigma here, coming to you guys with another tutorial video. So I know I dropped off the map for a while. I think it was like I dropped off the map for like a month or 2 months or something like that. But I'm back as normal. I just burned myself out, and I just needed a short little break. I just needed to game a bit, and catch back up on my life. Anyway, so in the last tutorial video, there were a few things that I said I was going to cover in the next one, which were going to be the cloner, cutting objects, and making your own custom objects, like making your own custom shapes in Cinema 4D. And I know you guys probably thought I forgot about that, and I was probably never going to make a tutorial on it, but here I am, making the tutorial like you guys asked. Also, I'd like to say thank you guys, thank you to Red Evan, his link will be in the description of the video, for making me this amazing 2D intro. He's a really cool guy, and I'm really glad I can call him a friend. On the other note, I'm also going to start trying to put more effort into my videos so that you guys can see higher quality. I'm going to have like lower thirds of my videos, I'm going to have outros, and I'm going to have my intro now as well. So I don't know about overlays. I probably won't do an overlay just because I'm a designer. It's not like I'm gaming, but if I ever come around to making gaming videos, you guys better bet your ass there will be sick overlays. But without further ado, enough of my ranting, let's get into it, starting with cutting objects. So cutting an object can be very simple, but normally you just need the object that you're cutting and the object you're going to cut it with. Once again, don't forget to turn on your lines. Okay, so this sphere is what I want to cut. I want to cut it in half, or just relatively close to half. I think that's good. Now this will work with anything. You can use any shape you want. You can even make your own custom shapes. You can use landscapes. You can stretch and pull the object to cut whatever you want. This is a really good thing that comes in handy. I do this in almost all my designs. I normally end up cutting at least one or two things. But so let's get right into it. So I'm going to shrink this sphere just a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your object and the object. So I'm cutting the sphere and I'm cutting it with a cube. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a buell and we're just going to drop them into it. And the object that you're cutting needs to go on top, and the object that you're cutting it with needs to go on bottom. As you guys can see here, this is where my cut is going to be. You can also do this with intros. Like say on frame 0 you go here, and then on frame 30 you go here, and then you can watch it back. This is something that you can do with intros. And you guys see me doing a lot of stuff where like I cut objects, like my Obey design in my portfolio, or a few other designs that I've done. One of my most recent ones, if I can find it for you guys right quick. I don't think I can find it. I'm not gonna spend too much time looking for it, but you guys know what I mean, like the Obey ones, the one where I cut the circle into the ground, make like the floating text and stuff. That's all done by, you have to cut it. Now let's look at making your own custom shapes. Okay, so making your own custom shapes is you're gonna want to go into your perspective, because like you're gonna want to choose a perspective by clicking up here on it's like a square box next to the rotate tool. And the reason you want to choose a right front or top perspective is if you use your pen tool and say you do something like that, if you come over here, it's all lopsided, it's not even, and your extrude will come out looking really weird. The dimensions are all off, the angles of it are just off in general. So by doing the top, front, or right, you can control whether you want it to go backwards, whether you want it to go straight back, or straight sideways, or straight up, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you can do with it. But in the end, it's all going to be perfectly lined up. So you're not going to have to worry about it being all sloppy mess and stuff like that. So normally I'll go with like the top view, and say for like I'm just gonna do like a square-ish object. I do something like this, then I'd connect it, and you've got your spline connected, and then all you have to do is treat it just like you would an AI file. You just drop it into an extrude, and boom. And it will be perfectly symmetrical. The lines aren't going to be like all fucked up and stuff. And that's how I make my custom objects. You know, that's my method of making custom objects, at least. Now let's look into making my let's look in using the cloner. So there's a few things that you can do with the cloner. So one thing that I like to do with the cloner is first off, I'll go into my view and I'll make like a triangle with the pen tool. And so we're just gonna make something like this. Nice, clean, smooth triangle. We're gonna put our extrude on it. Alright, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and we're gonna put it inside of a cloner. And then we're gonna set it to radial. I pretty much always work with radial. The only things that I really work with are like radial and linear, and then object and grid array are like my fewest used ones. But 90% of the time I'm normally just working with radial. Then what I'll do is I'll go to transform, and I'll normally set the top one to -90, and this will get these pointing towards you. And then I'll normally go back to object, and like I'll turn the radius up, and then I'll turn the count up to like 50. And this can be used in a lot of things. I do use this in a lot of my projects, and you can also, by not making this like edited, you can actually control the depth of the object while it's in the cloner. Because if you make it into a polygon, you may not be able to do it with some objects. So it's really important that you, if you can, leave it like that. But once you find out what you want with it, if you're trying to use it to cut something, you need to right-click the cloner, select children, and then press C on your keyboard. Right-click, select children, right-click, connect objects, and delete. And this turns it all into one polygon. So this can now be used to cut objects if we can. This is the object we want to cut with it. Okay, so we're going to get our Buell. Whoops. Okay, and see like that. Another thing that I'd like to mention about the Buell to you guys is if you guys want, if you notice, you just color, if you color the cube. So say we want our cube to be blue. Okay, so you color the cube, but the inside of the cuts are going to remain default colored. And say we wanted the cuts to come off red. So what you have to do is you have to actually texture what you're cutting it with, so that it textures the inside of it, like so. So that's another thing that I think I forgot to show you guys. Another thing to mention is sometimes, say you clone an object. So let's put a cloner on, let's put our object in a cloner, radial, and we'll just split this up. Okay. Like, so say you have an object. Sometimes if you're trying to cut a cloner, one second, I'm gonna make it into a polygon for you guys. Alright, so this is our object. Now sometimes, I noticed this earlier, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Say you're trying to cut these out that are over here, but you don't want to cut the others. And you put this inside of a Buell. Sometimes it will cut and sometimes it won't. I've yet to figure out, see look, it cut that time. I've yet to figure out the actual process that you need to take to keep these, to make sure it cuts 100% of the time. But I'm still, once again, I'm still learning. I'm still a huge noob as well. But yeah, so those are the 3 things I wanted to show you guys today. Cutting, making your own polygons, and cutting, making your own polygons, and I think, and a cloner. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Also, something that I forgot to show you guys, and I think I told you guys I was going to show you that today, was how to make wires. So making wires is really easy. All you have to do is get your sketch tool, and once again, I normally go into like the front perspective or top. If I'm drawing wires on like the floor of an object, like say all of this is a floor. Let's see if I can actually make a floor right quick. So this is the floor of our project, and I want to draw wires along it. Normally I'll go into the top view, but if I'm trying to make it look like it's dangling or like hanging from something, I'll normally go into the right side view or the front view. It's normally my preferred one. So you can just draw your spline, and then normally if you're in R17, it will normally correct the spline for you if it's got like any like major like bumps where like you have an unsteady hand. It'll normally correct it for you. Like see right there, it didn't correct that one. So if you want, you can actually change this to B-spline, and it'll smoothen out everything for you. And you can also close the spline, and it'll connect the 2 ends. But normally I wouldn't do that. Anyway, and then what you're gonna do to make a wire is you're just going to go into your objects right here, and you're gonna get a circle, and then you're going to get a sweep nerd, and then you're gonna put the circle and the sweep nerd inside of the spline. The circle needs to come first, and the spline underneath it. And then you're just gonna turn the radius on the circle down until it's the radius that you like. All right. And then if you guys want like a wire texture, you guys can actually come over here and go to your reflection, and then set this to Irawan woven cloth. And then I think there are different types of cloth that you can do. Yes, there are. Green sturdy fabric, polyester lining, silk, stuff like that. Like there's different types of cloth that you can do, and you can adjust the colors of them to make it whatever you want. So I'm just gonna pick out a few random colors. Apparently those colors are mostly gonna be green, but yeah, you can make your own by doing that. The normal one is just blue suit, because it kind of looks like wire wrapping, and then you just put that on there and boom. So I know I kind of like rushed through this tutorial considering it only lasted 13 minutes. I actually expected it to last a lot less. Also, I hope my mic quality isn't too bad. I've been playing with my mic settings, just trying to figure them out and trying to adjust, because I went and bought a small microphone that I'm trying to figure out how to use. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I know that this is probably going to be like my double upload of the day, and this one's going to be pretty late at night compared to my intro upload. But I'm just in the mood to upload, and I normally prefer Tutorial Tuesday, which is what it was supposed to be originally. So I'm trying to stick to that original one. And don't forget about Giveaway Friday. I will be giving away, I think this Friday, I'm probably going to end up giving away an illumination kit that I made, which is basically, it's a huge compilement of it's a Cinema 4D file with HDRI settings, and it's gonna come with a bunch of Lightrooms. I think so far I've got like 5 Lightrooms that I made put in it, but I may come out with more. And one of those Lightrooms is my personal Lightroom, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Anyway, guys, this has been Enigma, and I'll talk to you later.